Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to new Brit Workshop. I'm doing this workshop notes video to give you an idea of what's going on at the moment, because I'm working on a project which is taking me a little bit longer than I expected, and I didn't want you to forget about me. Now, my wardrobe upstairs has got two lots of hanging rails of it, an upper one and a lower one. I'd rather have some drawers, so I'm in the process of making the drawers to go in the lower level. They're going to have oak drawer fronts, solid oak drawer fronts, and the drawer sides are going to be made from that melamine coated MDF that you may have seen me cleaning up in a recent video. Anyway, that's what's going on. They're going to be easy construction as well, with the drawer sides and the backs mitered to each other, and that's using that very simple gluing technique, using the masking tape and bringing the stuff around, because most of the strength will be in the drawer bottoms. Well, I thought I should show you this. Unfortunately, I should have started showing you this before I got to this stage. This is an old chair, which my wife and I are in the process of just refurbishing. And it's a nice looking chair, but it was getting all rickety. So I very carefully broke these joints, here and here, here and here. So we had those two pieces coming apart, because the joints this way were actually quite okay. And dowels were used for these joints, and so what I did was I cleaned off all the old glue, or as much of the old glue as I could, and I've now re-glued it. And I've used this Bessie strap clamp, and I must tell you that these Bessie strap clamps really do come into their own so many times, and they're very simple to use. There's a tightening handle here, and then there's this reel of fabric here, so that you can make this as long as you like. And I have in the past used this at considerable length to clamp something where my normal Bessie clamps just weren't big enough. So that's the strap clamp, and when you finish using it, you just roll the fabric back. So that's it. And when you buy one of these, you get 4 of these corner pieces which slip into the fabric. So if you're trying to glue up a frame of some sort, then there'll be one of these at each corner, so you can draw everything together, and the fabric itself won't damage the corners of the wood. So all in all, a really good bit of kit. Now, I think we've all had the requirement to cut a little bit off the end of a bolt from time to time, but when you've got to do a number of them, they've all got to be exactly the right length, then you do need to take a bit of care. Now, one thing I've just done is I've cut a block of wood, which is the right length for the bit of bolt that I want. There's my bolt, stick that through there, and there's a little bit sticking out. Hold that in the vise, and keeping the block against the head of the bolt, I can then saw along that face. And you can see I've already done it a few times. Okay, very easy to do, and you come up with 4, 8, 10, however many it is, bolts of exactly the right length. And I'm just pulling this against here, and I'm going to start this off now with the saw blade flat against the end of the piece of wood. And once it gets going, it's very easy. This does help, of course, to make a square cut as well, because you're more or less able to follow the end of that piece of wood. And all the time I'm pulling this piece of wood this way, so that it's hard against the head of the bolt. And there's that cut to length. Now, obviously, one will get a bit of wear on this piece of wood. Well, every now and again you can replace it if necessary, but if you've only got 4 to do, which is what I've got, then it's no problem at all. All I've got to do now is put those in one at a time. I give them a quick file off. And there's my set of 3, actually it's 4, the other one's not here. There's my set done. I can now go and install these. I know they're the right length. Now this is really interesting. Can you see there's some glue is just oozing out through the pores in this piece of wood? Well, that's because I put a plug in just there, and I've squeezed it up tight, and the glue has gone all the way through the wood to there. How about that? I'm afraid that the little chap that appeared on top of my birthday cake for my recent special birthday, I'm afraid the icing's dried out, but what an absolutely fantastic little character he is. It's supposed to be me, of course, with my green coat on. But I've got a photograph I can show you of the cake with him on top in its splendour. Now, I don't know if you've seen my recent FAMAG video, and I was showing in that video a whole bunch of tools that I was going to, actually I said then, take to the dump. But thanks to two really super people, Jeff Kinlan and also Steve Boson, they both persuaded me that the tools should go to charity. And there were two different charities they mentioned. Jeff mentioned Tools for Self-Reliance, and Steve Boson mentioned TWAM, which is Tools with a Mission. Anyway, this is the collection of tools that I've put together for now. There may be one or two more. And these are going to Tools with a Mission because they have a little depot not too far away. I've got a sabre saw here, a bit old and battered, but it works perfectly well. This grinder, a writer. I know on eBay I could get a reasonable amount for this writer, but that doesn't interest me when I've read about the charity. A whole bunch of drills in there and some chisels and other odds and ends. There's an electric drill, perfectly working, very well, hand drill. This, if you've never seen one, is a gadget for tightening barbed wire. You put this part round the post, the barbed wire goes in there, and you pull back like that and tighten the barbed wire. And there are one or two other bits and pieces in there as well. Now I'm hoping that I can do a little video about this process. I don't know whether I can yet because I haven't asked anyone. But anyway, I thought I'd just show you those few things that I'm putting together. So rather than taking to the dump, thank you Jeff and Steve. Thank you both very much indeed. These things are now going to charity, and they'll be helping someone somewhere in the world get their little business or their home sorted out, whatever it might be. Now, this is a serious note. I just want you to be aware that right now, when this video is being made, there's the most dreadful thing going on in the world, and it's called the coronavirus. And it's hitting people in mainland China in the most part. Now, for everyone involved in this, I really, really hope that some form of vaccination can be found quickly. Now, there is a knock-on effect from this, and many people don't realise just how many of our woodworking tools, particularly the machines, are actually made in China. This jet planer thicknesser I have had made in China written all over the box. But unless you had read that as it was being unpacked, you might not realise. Now, there could be a shortage of supply of some items. So if you're dithering about buying, it might not be this particular machine, but any other machine that might be made in China, then maybe you ought to sort of make your decision fairly quickly. Because there could be a little blip in the supply chain, because obviously right now as I make this video, not all the Chinese factories are back at full production. I wish they were back, and I wish them the very best in getting back to normality. There'll be some items in the shipping lanes on the way to North America, the UK, Europe and elsewhere. But there is a risk that supply of certain things may be interrupted. So if you're thinking about buying some capital piece of equipment, then do it as soon as you can. And as I said, I really wish everyone affected by this disease the very best for the future, and I really hope that all of the very clever people who are trying to combat it have the greatest success. Now I'm going to finish up by showing you this, and I hope it comes up clearly enough in the camera. This is oak-faced MDF. It's 6 millimeters thick, and it was in two pieces. and I was running out of material for the bottoms from the drawers that I'm making for my wardrobe, and so I joined two pieces together. There are no dominoes, there's just glue and one little reinforcing strip on this side just to stiffen up the back there, and there's a little bit of reinforcing along this bottom edge. But that's the key piece there, and it's just done with ordinary PVA glue. And by the time that goes into my drawer bottom, it will be supported on four sides in a channel, and that will be really, really strong. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.